Great question. Which PVC deck board is better? AZEK or Wolf Serenity? Which one's going to last you longer? Which one's going to look better on your deck? Which one are you going to stay up on your feet longer? Well, not longer. Stay up on your feet, period. Which two of the deck boards are you going to want to put on your deck? Well, I'm Ryan from DecksByE3.com. Click the links down below to find out all the more detailed information. But from a bird's eye view flying over your deck, here's two things that we're going to look at these decking. There's two similar. There are four things that you're going to look at these two decking boards with, and they're brands to see which one's better. Just before we get too far, and if your time is really short, both brands are phenomenal in their length of their warranty. Both have fairly good slip resistance. They're priced very similar. In a lot of ways, they are two of the exact same board. So you might as well just do what every guy does when he's buying decking. Just buy what looks good. But there are a few things that are slightly different between the two, which might be worth your time to consider. To watch the full length and look at it the next time you're out at your deck store, trying to find out which PVC deck board is best for you. So, like I say, appearance-wise, thing that we often decide between the two deck boards. So, Wolf Serenity has 11 different colors to choose from. They have 9, their tropical hardwood selection, which is the biggest difference between the tropical hardwood and the Seaside collection, which only has 2 colors, is their color variegation. So see there, the color, the black streaks in there, that makes the decking pop a little bit. If you're going on a Seaside, which is going to cost you a little less, this is a Harbor Gray. But then if you go with Driftwood Gray, see how much more color and depth you have in there, and the black little streak in there. That's going to be the two biggest difference between the two boards, all within the Wolf Serenity line. TimberTech AZEK has 3 different lines, but in those 3 lines, they still have 11 colors, which with TimberTech AZEK, I would recommend you go check out some of their samples. They've introduced new colors this year, so what you had last year may not be what you have this year, and some of their good colors, their new colors are actually just, worth looking at. So their vintage collection, which I would say is probably their best line of their AZEK decking boards. This is a dark hickory here. So it has the wire brushed finish, which AZEK is kind of known for, like most of their boards have a wire brush finish. And with a high blend of colors. This one here is American Walnut. Looks very much like real hardwood flooring, except of course it's PVC, less maintenance than the other hardwood flooring option. That's actually that's a landmark collection, that's not a vintage. But can you see that on that one there? That's gonna be hard to get the lights just right on there. So one of the distinct difference with landmark collection is they actually have small, what looks like a machining mark scratches on there, which in some ways is a great way to prevent your deck from looking ugly from scratches. Because if you have intentional scratches on the board, when you get an accidental scratch on the board, it's going to camouflage it right in. So Landmark is kind of nice that way, that it has those machine scratches on the deck board, giving you a little extra traction possibly, but more hiding and camouflaging accidental scratches that you get on there. And then of course they have their traditional Harvest collection, which between you and I think it's on the way out because they just bring out much better looking boards in the vintage and the Landmark collection, but they still have the Harvest collection here if you want to have that. Now, in regards to keeping up on your feet on the two deck boards, Wolf Serenity is significantly better for traction. They're nice and consistent with traction, where AZEK varies in line. And like I said, the little Harvest collection that's probably on its way out, don't quote me on it, but I think it might be. It doesn't have very good traction. Their vintage collection, which is their premium deck board, it does have fairly good traction, but Wolf Serenity is going to give you better traction. Another advantage of Wolf Serenity over your AZEK PVC decking is price. So if you, actually I should back this up just a little bit. The two boards, they vary in regards to lines of what they are priced at. If you go with the Seaside collections, so your solid boards from Wolf Serenity and your Harvest boards from AZEK, they're both roughly priced the same amount, roughly $6 a lineal foot, plus or minus, depends where you buy them. Move up a little bit to the Landmark collection. I already showed you the American Walnut, but that's a nice looking board. You're gonna expect to pay somewhere around the $7 a lineal foot for. But the same thing with the Wolf Serenity. If you go with their hardwood collection, also expect to pay about $7 a lineal foot. It's a nice little price. If you jump up to the AZEK Premium board, they're vintage, which is a nice looking dot composite deck board. Expect to pay more than $8 a lineal foot. One of the advantages of Wolf Serenity is how you install it. You ever worked with a camel hidden fasteners here? You know, you just clamp it on the board and put your screws on the edge of your board there. Well, Wolf Serenity is designed to be installed with camel fasteners. And the advantage of camel fasteners over your biscuit clips is price. It's going to cost you less to install your Wolf Serenity deck using your camel fastener than it is going to be to install your AZEK deck with their biscuit fasteners. Just going to save you a few dollars there. And that's the surprising thing with fasteners and composite decking. You're going to pay a lot for your fasteners compared to your standard face screws. Makes it look way better, but it's something we often don't think of when we're comparing between prices and stuff. So capping, there is a significant difference between them. One thing I love about the Wolf Serenity, see the bottom? Color variation in Boston, traction finish. It's the exact same as the top. If you're installing your Wolf Serenity deck board and you actually run your cat's paw for some reason across it and scratch it, back the fasteners off, it's brand new. You can even do that 23 years from now, 50 years from now. The bottom of the decking is finished, the same as the top decking, so you can flip it around, use it either way. You can use an offcut to tie in your miter joints, whatever you feel like doing with your decking. But you can't do that with your AZEK. AZEK is capped on all four sides, and even the groove. One thing I love about AZEK decking, except the finish, you don't want to be walking on that. There's no traction on it, there's no embossing on there. There's a little bit of streaking in this one, but it is a significantly different board. So even the groove here is not going to allow you to flip it. AZEK has a top side and a bottom side. For Wolf Serenity, they're both the same. Flip the boards, use them however you need to. Warranty wise, again, like I said, they're very similar. 50 years. 50 years of fade, stain, structural warranty. So you're good to go on both of those. 100% for the first 10 years. After 50 years, Wolf Serenity still gives you 10% replacement value. So when you're a grandparent, you can still be enjoying your deck. And if it has faded at that time, you can get 10% of the money back to replace it with a new Wolf Serenity decking. So they're both very similar. Warranty-wise for labor, which will cost a big portion of your building your deck, AZEK has between 2 to 7 years if you use a certified installer. Depends how much, like, do you use their railing, how much volume the installer installs. Do you use composite railing from AZEK? Do you use some other brand's railing? It's going to vary between 2 and 7 years. Where Wolf Serenity, use one of their installers, you get a 5-year warranty for all the labor. Which means that in the first 5 years, if your deck fails for some reason, they're going to pay you the cost to replace it, which is excellent. But like I say, AZEK has a 2 to 7 years, so it's going to vary a little bit, but they're both very similar, giving you both a good option to buy from. So one of the differences in their warranty though is what they do if structurally it fails. Wolf Serenity, like I say, they're going to give you money for you can buy new decking if it fails. AZEK is going to give you a new board if they still have it. Which is good because in some ways that's 100% at year 49. But in some ways, it's not so good because it's a new board. If you decide you don't like AZEK, you're stuck with AZEK because they're only going to give you a new board even though it's failed in your application, because that's what you get. Where Wolf, you get the money, you can take it and run. Whether or not that really makes a big difference, it's tough to tell. But thank you for watching, and good luck in building your deck.